Tropical forests are our most global solution to climate change and the extinction crisis, but they're not enough. Cleaning up our economy with clean tech and other green strategies is enormously important. This series is all about comparing to those strategies in terms of effectiveness. We need all of that stuff, and it all needs to continue accelerating. But given that we're about to go into an era of anti-environmentalism, we have to get even more serious about moving global solutions forward. And the biodiversity loss should really be our first concern, primarily because of two things. Biodiversity is our life support services. Biodiversity productivity, the interaction of other living things, creates oxygen, fresh water, absorbs heat, circulates moisture around our planet, provides us with food, provides us with temperature regulation in microclimates, and a whole host of other things, but all essentials for us to continue living on this planet. And secondly, protecting and restoring biodiversity is a more effective strategy for solving our climate problems than using technology to reduce the impacts of our built world. So the bad news is this is incredibly urgent. We're losing over 100 species to extinction every day, mostly because of tropical deforestation, but really because of the incredible story of the expanse of humanity in the last 200 years. Currently, today, over 70% of humanity already lives in places where biodiversity loss has been so substantial that ecosystem services, aka our life support services, could collapse at any moment. These same life support services are what helps keep our climate temperate. And living things are just as important to our climate system as the temperature of our atmosphere. This is a little known fact that needs to be much broader known. With clean tech, we're really fighting for two things. We're fighting to slow the rate of global warming, and we're fighting to protect species because of rapid climate change. But we're already losing species. We've already lost a lot of species, and in the last 50 years, nearly 60% of Earth's wildlife has been just eradicated from our planet. Think of it this way, that in 1967, there were about 3.5 billion people on Earth. Today, in 2017, 50 years later, there are nearly 7.5 billion people. So we've more than doubled in 50 years, and the first time we hit 1 billion people in the history of humanity was just 215 years ago, something like that. We're destroying biodiversity faster than it can replenish, and that's what we need to reverse. We need to create more than we destroy. So the good news is, this is all pretty easy to figure out. It's all pretty easy to do. We just need to get started. Nature has a way of restoring itself really rapidly, given a good start, and left alone, left to wilderness. But we don't have decades to do this. We have years. And that's part of what biointegrity is about. So in this final email, I have put together 3 points that I think are the most important points for the way we approach biodiversity restoration. The first is that we protect and restore our most biodiverse ecosystems, primarily tropical forests and biodiversity hotspots, but also the local ecosystems that people care about, in that order of importance. Because the faster that we protect tropical forests, the more global benefits we get, and the more that aids local ecosystems and so forth. The second point is that we use permaculture to solve the food challenge and the population challenge and the poverty challenges. The main drivers of tropical deforestation are the food production. Massive ranching businesses and agricultural businesses that just take out forest every day at the rate of about 80,000 acres a day. The third point is that in permaculture, I should say, permaculture is this fantastic modality for eco-intensification. And it can be utilized in a number of ways, but in this context, it's to grow food. And we should be permaculturifying commercial food production and teaching people who need food how to farm with permaculture, how to grow sustainable food systems that are self-propagating and that get more robust every year. Unlike agriculture, permaculture is a self-sustaining system. The inputs are all from within the property itself. And by utilizing that strategy, things get better year on year, not more depleted. The third piece is to use similar strategies to put biodiversity resilience buffers in and around the places people live and work. And so, in short, that's reforestation. There's about half as much forest on Earth as there was when civilization began. Most of that loss has taken place, again, in the last 200 years, since our population has really exploded and we've expanded and industrialized. And we need to start putting forests and other types of ecosystems, aquatic and otherwise, in the cities we live in, on rooftops, in playgrounds, at schools, in wildlife corridors connecting large forest systems across continents. And these strategies are the best ways we can prepare for a warmer planet and be resilient to a warmer climate, as well as deal with and reverse the biodiversity extinction crisis that threatens our future immediately. I'm going to stop there and just say protecting and restoring biodiversity is in our own self-interest. This is not an environmentalist plea. This is a human plea. This is a call for a turn in the trajectory of the human story, and that we begin today to rapidly restore biodiversity and tell a new story about humanity where we figure things out. We've had thousands of years of conflict, thousands of years of making things worse for ourselves. It's time for that to change. Thank you so much for following this series, and I look forward to talking to you again in the future.